One of the biggest parts of the master planning process that's often overlooked, and as architects and planners and landscape architects, we sometimes get, and even developers, one of the things we miss early on is the operational components of it and service. And how are we gonna, we automatically go to the fun stuff, right? Where's that surf park, or where's that great view at? Where's my primary F&B gonna be that's gonna have the best views and to have the best moment and create that aha moment? And we forget so quickly about the back of house, right? And how the connections have to be made from a different standpoint. That's really the ugly part of what we do, right? The best designs are the ones that hide that stuff the best. So from an operational standpoint, how do you build that into the master planning process?
Well, there's so many aspects in it, big or small. If you narrow it down, you think about, cold weather and wetsuits, and it becomes a major issue with surfers just carrying water into your facility and things like that. So you've got to set up wet and dry areas and ways to accommodate that water that's brought in. How do you get rid of it with drains, fans, whatever, that type of stuff? And, you're going to need 300 to 500 wetsuits to accommodate, the crowds that are coming out with the capacities that these pools offer. So setting up for stuff like that in the building layouts is just crucial, because if you don't do it properly, you're not going to be able to offer that seamless guest experience once you're open.
Paul, you have anything knowing what you're going through on yours and all the back of house pieces that are part of that structure, how do you how's that get built into the master plan that well?
I think it's critical. We can talk about guest experience all we want, but that's, as Blake will attest, that's really half the battle. If everything behind the curtain is a total disaster, your operation's not going to get off the ground. So having consultants and experts like some of those who are up on stage here is really, really critical for the ongoing success of that operation. It's the less sexy part of the job, but in many ways it's the most important.
Yeah, as we know, Disney does it really well. Their special green paint works well. We talked a little bit about in our call about the future of surf parks and how it builds and where this goes in the next few years. Where I think we're all at the tip of the sword, and I think even the people in this room we have no clue where this is going to go, but we know it's on a trend that could be very disruptive to other sectors within the development, and has a real opportunity to really spur new growth in a very tough development time right now. COVID's put things back in most sectors, except unless you're in the warehouse industrial piece, you're still making money. But at this point, everybody's starting to reevaluate everything they're doing, from malls to even their mixed-use products. So I have my own feelings. Where do we feel this is all going in the future? As far as who picks it up, when do we know this is the real deal? Who wants to take that one? It's a tough one.
Does anybody in the audience have that one?
Get your crystal balls.
When is it going to be the real deal?
Shake the ball. What's it say?
Yeah, I think we're really going to know it's the real deal when you start seeing these in a variety of locations, and they're working in those locations. Having operated and planned attractions all over the world, the user requirements and the visitors are so different in every location. We're talking about back of house. The back of house requirements for a location in Dubai and one here in the US are completely different. So when you start seeing facilities all over the place, and they've really got to a point where, we see that they are working, we see that they're profitable, and most importantly, we see that the visitors are having an incredible guest experience, learning how to become better surfers, being athletic. That's when I think we know we're there.
Yeah, I think we've seen the first wave of surf pools that have been deployed, and credit to the Kellys of the world, the BSRs of the world, who really put their neck out there. And I think we're incredibly entrepreneurial in terms of a willingness to take on that risk and explore an entirely new concept, an entirely new segment. I think what we're on the cusp of now is this second wave of larger scale, arguably more complex, riskier developments, but with individuals who are bringing a new level of sophistication to these projects. We talk about master planning, projects that are properly master planned with operations in mind. And I think as those start to prove out, this summit is quickly going to jump from 200 people to 1,200 people, and you're going to start to see a lot of that institutional capital that's going to start flowing into the space. And frankly, we're already starting to see that today.
So we had a great discussion on surf culture. How do we keep that surf culture, when it does become capitalist and we do see the bigger numbers, the bigger names coming into? I mean, I really think Disney's right around the corner here. I think there's a big opportunity for this is going to catch wind real quick. I mean, I know we're working with some of the bigger names, the bigger developers, the big groups that have money. They're just kicking the tires on this now, but the potential's there. But there's also an authenticity that we've talked about here a lot, and in any design, any development, you got to really. That's what we pride ourselves on, is going to a place and making yourself one of the place, whether it's in Costa Rica, whether it's in Dubai, it's authentic. So how do we keep that surf culture going when you get in this?